Hi, I'm Chris, and this is the July 4th, 2017 tour of my Bay State kitchen garden. There's my compost bins, my all-important wheelbarrow there. Much depends on a gray wheelbarrow. I'm going to look at the perennial gardens a little bit today. Don't usually show those to you. Put them in over the past 25 years. Pretty low maintenance, provide a lot of habitat and food for the birds that I love. Shady garden here, full of hostas, hollies, my tricolor beech tree here, put in on my husband's 40th birthday 25 years ago. Hellebores under there, ferns, very, very low maintenance over here. Never have to water it either. Leaching field from my septic system is covered in grasses, miscanthus, a few flowering plants, and a whole bunch of blueberries in the back. Over here, the battle of the invasives. Got gooseneck loosestrife fighting it out with some elderberry. They're kept in check in this section so they don't go too wild. Bench looks good. I don't know how solid it is anymore. Oak leaf hydrangea. Back over here, big buddleia in the bed over the leaching field. Show you the blueberries in the back. Right back in there, a whole bunch of blueberries, very productive. The blueberries have been amazing this year. Matching perennial borders on either side of the deck. And then in the front of the deck, there's usually, in the spring, it's all daffodils, and it's going to be a whole bunch of beautiful white phlox very soon. A few planters on the deck, mostly just flowers I grow from seed. All right, we're heading over to the garden you usually see, which is the vegetable garden. Newer section doing great here. Getting some zucchini, yay. I'll be sick of them in a few weeks, but right now I'm excited. Bush beans coming along in here. With some kale, more zucchini. Tomatoes are thriving, and yes, they are setting some fruit. Super excited as always. Basil, fertilized it last week. It's really flushed. It did not look great for a while, but now I'm happy. 5-gallon buckets make good planters as long as you put drainage. And yes, I used to work at a daylily farm. There are lots and lots of daylilies in my garden. There's a few more. Nasturtiums, tomatoes in here. Raspberries coming along. The first flush will be very soon. There's some fruit. Sneaking a few squash in between. Asparagus is just foliage now, making some strength for next year. Just pulled some peas out. Here's some peas that are still producing. Tiger lilies. There's the strawberry bed. That was the June bearers, so they're done. Butterfly weed I grew from seed. This is the 4th year. Really happy with that. Blueberries. I picked like crazy. And this is what's left, which is a lot, plus many more bushes elsewhere in the garden. The Kool-Aid that I used to spray it, the unsweetened, worked great keeping the birds off. We'll pass by the main garden here. Fenced garden. Lots of bush beans under cover to keep the bean beetles off of them. Pole beans as well. And all the late season stuff is coming along. Sunflowers, as I said. Self-sown pole beans. These are leftover from last year. They planted themselves. Mostly some purple ones, so I'm happy with that. Zinnias here, I grew from seed. The alyssum is doing well. Bachelor's buttons. Those were leftover from last year. The plant survived. Just dug some purple potatoes out of here. Potatoes are just starting to be ready to pick. More peas. These are sugar snaps. Very, very productive. Chard, I should start picking some of that. 4 o'clocks and more sunflowers in here about to bloom. This was a mesclun mix that I just pulled everything but the lettuce out. In the back, self-sown morning glories. Scarlet runner beans, another tomato. My fig, looking a lot better than it did before. Here's those bush beans under cover, and in front I just harvested some lettuce from in here. It kept it a little moister. It worked well in the heat. Peppers finally greening up, getting that nice dark rich color. I'm feeling much better about them. Yes, more tomatoes. And of course over here, all the fruits, blueberries. I've got my peach tree, which fingers crossed will produce this year. Lots of garlic finishing up, rhubarb. The walking onions are in there. And then I just have a lot of flowers mixed in as well. Because as I said, I do love my perennial garden. Flowers bring joy to me, and they're good for the rest of the creatures that come to my garden. So that's a July 4th, 2017 tour of my Bay State kitchen garden.